everyone, I'm Brock with PDQ. Recently, I've kind of seen some customer environments and how they've been using groups in PDQ Connect and how they've been kind of like configuring them. And my eyes have been open, to say the least. So today we're going to be actually looking at some custom configurations you could use for your environment inside of PDQ Connect. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. Now, if you'll see my Connect instance here, you'll see that it is a hot mess, okay? Now, don't judge too much. I mean, it is a test environment. I do share it with others, and I do blame my coworkers. But needless to say, I've been enlightened. In fact, I went ahead and called my containing folder for this example enlightened, so we can kind of like rise above our primal instincts. Okay, so let's open up this folder. We'll see what we're looking at. Oop, no spoilers. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at kind of focuses on our automations that we've set up with our packages and stuff. This one's really cool. It's not something that I would have thought of off the top of my head. So I'm glad that someone kind of pointed this one out, this use case out to me. So in automations, and again, this is kind of like a small subset I'm trying to recreate, the user that had this going on, had tons of stuff populated in here. The idea here is you're kind of monitoring your automations, the health of your automations, the health of your packages with your groups inside of the devices page in PDQ Connect. So what we've got here is we've got some optional installs, and then that's broken up into custom installers. So the ones that you build yourself that aren't part of like the package library. We've also got optional installers that are built by PDQ. These ones, of course, optional installs, these are kind of geared towards people like, oh, hey, if people want these installations on their computers, they can have them. For instance, like we got Telegram here. That is a custom one. We've got FileZilla, Tableau Reader. If users want them, we can deploy them, but they're optional. We've also got the same things, but these are the required installations. So required install, we've got PickPick, and that's going to be a custom one. The required installs from PDQ are going to be Chrome and WebEx. The way I like to look at this is, again, we're focusing on our automations here. So there's some information we can glean from that. The first thing is, if you're dealing with your custom packages, you immediately know like your custom packages are up to you to update, okay? So if a new installer gets released, it's up to you to go to your package and update that installer. Well, the nice thing is that we can take this information. I can see like, hey, Telegram, this is actually telling me that Telegram, I have an installation out there that's old. If I look at the filter, we can see that we've got where software name contains app name Telegram. Yes, that's a custom variable that I created. And software version is less than app version Telegram. Again, that's a custom variable that I created that has the version number of Telegram. We can actually go look at that if we go over to our variables, type in Telegram here. So you can see what information is here. Okay, we've got it's just the app name Telegram. We've got the version number. Now, the nice thing is all I have to do is like periodically go and check Telegram's site, find out what the version number is, update that variable, and then all of a sudden these groups are going to tell me, hey, you've got some old packages here that need to be updated. So I can go and take care of those. The other thing that is great here is we have the PDQ ones, and yes, they're automatically updated by us. So FileZilla, Tableau Reader, Chrome, WebEx, those are all just gonna, as soon as there's a new package available, they're gonna be updated by us. But if you're constantly seeing devices in here, like I see I have Chrome 9 devices, something that tells me is maybe I'm not scheduling my deployments frequently enough, okay? So if I'm constantly seeing devices with old software, maybe I'm only deploying that application like once every 2 weeks, and maybe I should be deploying it weekly or maybe a couple times a week. So that would kind of resolve those issues there where you have like old installations just kind of hanging out in your environment that could pose a security risk. All right, the next group I want to look at is our compliance group. And if that C word scares you, I don't blame you. First of all, if you work for an organization that has to deal with compliance constantly and you got auditors coming in, my condolences. We can help. A lot of times they're coming in, they're asking for specific information. Are you running out of date software? Are all of your machines up to date on their antivirus? Do they have BitLocker enabled? Things like that. With the information contained in PDQ Connect, we can knock a lot of that stuff out right away. So we've got here several groups where we've got like, hey, BitLocker's disabled. Again, don't worry. These are virtual machines, test environment, all good. But if this was your environment and you needed BitLocker enabled, I would be working on that. So anyways, we got one enabled. We can see right away browser's out of date. And again, this is like super easy filters. These aren't super complex or anything like that. We can go in, we can look. You can see that we're looking for any members of the groups named Chrome old or Firefox old. That'll tell us how many devices have a browser, one or the other, that are old, okay? Devices with unapproved software, you might have a deny list at your organization, and you might want to know, hey, we want to know when somebody installs the Gmail desktop application on their computer, okay? And then if that ever pops up, it'll pull up right here, and you can take care of it immediately. Again, we got VPN software, Windows Defender, if it's enabled, disabled, things like that. So it's super nice. Hey, you've got an audit coming up in maybe in the next few weeks. You can look at this list and easily go like line by line, what do we need to take care of to make sure we're ready for the audit? Lastly, let's look at our DAG group. And this is an acronym I created, Data at a Glance, okay? It's also a shout out to one of my favorite movies. No, not DAG from the 1973 film, but Snatch. And if you've seen it, you probably get the reference. If we go in here, this is probably my favorite one, just because a lot of the times when people are building groups in PDQ Connect, they're very software oriented, and there's a lot more information than that. And I don't blame you, especially if you're coming from like PDQ inventory, which we can hop over to here. If we pull that up, we've got our collection library, and a lot of it, you know, we do have our hardware groups, but a lot of it we do have applications that are organized by like internet browsers, office suites, utilities, things like that. So we could go in here, see latest, old, not installed, so on and so forth. But if we go back to Connect, you can see we've got a lot of other information that is just really useful to have as a sysadmin, just at like right at a glance, okay? Where the name come from. I know I'm super creative. But so we can see like, hey, what devices are connecting to the primary domain controller? What devices are connecting to our secondary domain controller? We can see if there's any disks that are unhealthy. You know, luckily we've got 0 there, but we do have a couple of disks that are running low on space. So we can go up to our filter here and actually see that I've got that pegged for 30%. So anytime capacity drops below 30%, it updates it, it adds it to the group, and it's right here. So this one really helps out. Like, you know, reports are great for the higher ups, for the C-suite, for the directors. Sysadmins, at least myself, I don't live or love reports. So I like to see the information here where I can like quickly take action on it. I can see what's going on. I can see what devices, maybe have an offline device here, and it shouldn't be. So I can quickly take action on all these groups. This was just kind of an example of some ways that you can structure your groups in PDQ Connect. You've got folders, you've got groups, you can embed those things. So you really have a lot of options. But I do think that's going to wrap up this video. So like always, make sure to like and subscribe for more PDQ content. If you got any questions, or I'd actually love to hear your guys' ideas for your own custom configurations, put those down in the comments down below. For PDQ, I'm Brock. Thanks for watching.